Hello!
Good evening.
Welcome to CHMA. I'm trying something new, being nice and cool. Broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, Canada.
Very smooth. Are we going to play?
Very smooth.
Like, is it good? I shouldn't allow you to turn this into the jazz hour.
Why not?
Oh,
I can do... Man,
probably...
I know so many jazz musicians from the Maritimes.
Yeah, you turn us into exclusively jazz.
I'm fine with that. You're listening either on 106.9 FM in the Tantramar area or at www.chmafm.com. This is Ground Control at YMC Midgic Airport. You're joining myself, Air Traffic Controller Thomas.
And me, Air Traffic Controller Luke.
Hey, join us for the next hour as we watch the skies, listen to some tunes, and chat, and we'll be done by and by. So, Luke.
Yeah, man.
We were supposed to have a storm.
I know the weather update is challenging every week, and for those of you listening who haven't figured it out yet, I'm a big winter fan.
Yes.
So regardless of the weather the past few weeks, I just keep predicting snow.
It just hasn't happened.
Man, it's
like we were supposed to get a storm.
Yeah.
I'm looking outside, man. It's not storming. Actually, I'm looking into your eyes currently.
Yeah, it's the face of disappointment.
Yeah, your eyes are stormy, but it is not stormy outside.
Thanks. I'm sure that's how people describe my eyes.
It's going to be now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was,
At least the last few weeks, I've been able to look forward into the forecast and be like, there's going to be a storm.
Yes.
But I'm rapidly reaching the point where it's like, maybe not.
It might be a stormless year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we are doing weather not in the future in a while. We are actually here in studio.
This is live.
Like all the mistakes that we normally make that someone edits out, like we're not going to be able to do that this time.
All 4 of our listeners are going to realize how bad I actually sound.
Oh, and they're all going to realize how much I go on tangents.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a tangent-free evening.
We're going to try.
That's it. As for the weather, you can expect more of the same over the next 24 hours. It's pretty mild. There's no big snow. It's like winter light.
Yeah,
everyone's like on a diet this time of year and trying horrible diet food.
Yeah,
this is diet weather.
I feel like we are like having a North Carolina Christmas.
Yeah, it's something.
It's something. I wonder how North Carolina's doing right now. Hey,
yeah, man,
we got a song. I'm gonna start us off here today.
Are you gonna bring us with like some pump up tunes? I put a pump up tune in there this week.
Absolutely not. No pumping up. No, I was just thinking of some great maritime musicians that I have seen live and just had incredible live shows. Because some shows are just like, this is incredible music, but it's not like they're not exhilarating live performers. Ben Kaplan is an exhilarating live performer. Like I went to the bar now is like, I don't think it exists anymore. It was in beautiful St. John, New Brunswick. And it was Ben Kaplan and like my buddy Ben and myself. Two Bens.
The 2 Ben Bill.
And well, Ben wasn't playing.
Oh,
not that night.
You went with Ben to watch. See the other Ben.
Yeah, we went to go see Ben Cap, and there was like 5 people there. We were just like
amazing,
eating wings, having a few brewskis, watching Ben Kaplan just scream his face off playing a guitar.
All right.
So this is "Stranger" by Ben Kaplan. He has a lot of like klezmer influences in his music. He is Jewish himself.
I don't know what that means.
It's funny. I was talking to my wife about this as well. Klezmer is like a very specific like Yiddish type of music in Europe. I'm sure you will listen to this song.
My mother is listening. If she is listening, and is deeply disappointed that I didn't know this.
So here is "Stranger" by Ben Kaplan.
All right.
that she said, don't go to bed with strangers, don't play with the dead, always keep your wits sharp like an axe inside the shed. Yeah, I did it, I did it, I did it, I when I was just a schoolboy, my father, he spoke unto me. He said, boy, chick, my son, don't trust anyone, and remember that nothing is free, and the world is full of strangers. The world is full of dread. The world is full of sharpened wits and millions of tears you will shed. Yeah, I did it, I did it, I. Yeah, I did it, I, did it, well, when I was a young man, my professor at university said advice is corrupting, don't ever be trusting, don't show your emotion. Human suffering is an ocean, and it's dark at the bottom of the sea, and there's no such thing as a stranger. We're all equally backwards and wrong. Sharpened axes, not wits, bones are broken by sticks, and you'll never be free till you're strong. Yeah, I did it, I did it, I. Yeah, I did it, I well, young men grow older, and the world gets colder, though it never was warm to begin. Don't let down your guard, for the reaper works hard, and he will not take pause till you're dead. Now I'm old and I'm rusty. My troubles like sand on the beach. They can't be calculated. I always have waited for something just out of reach. And I to myself am a stranger. My heart is of iron and lead. My world is resounding with miseries abounding. There's only one thing to be said. I'll say I did it, I did it, I. Yeah, I did it, I did it, I. Yeah, I did
There is a line in that tune where he refers to being a younger man.
Yes.
And with a voice like that, presumably he sounded like this at age 4.
I would assume so.
To get that kind of vocal strength.
When he cried as a baby, it was like, wah, Mom!
Yeah.
Wah!
Yeah. Yeah. Just, man, what a voice.
It's an incredible voice. And he's so passionate when he sings. Hey man, do you know what we're going to talk about?
Is it sports?
Yeah, we're going to talk about some sports.
I'm starting to look forward to my weekly sports education session.
So, I've been hyping this one up to you off air for a while.
Okay.
That we got even more chess news. And it is completely different story with completely different players than the last one.
Is it?
So we have an Italian-Iranian grandmaster whose name I am going to butcher.
Okay.
Alireza Firouzja. I'm going to just call him Alireza. So Alireza was trying to qualify for the FIDE or the FIDE Candidates Chess Tournament in Toronto. So essentially, this is a tournament that if you win, you get to an even bigger tournament.
Is the governing body of chess French?
Yes, it is.
Huh.
Yeah, do you know? I don't know.
I was trying to figure out the acronym. It didn't work in English, but it works in French.
Yeah, it is French.
Yeah.
I don't know what is the acronym.
I'm guessing Fédération Internationale des Échecs, which would be the International Federation of Chess.
Yeah, no, it is. It's 100% French.
Man, that's going to kill in trivia someday.
So he was, and your FIDE score, your FIDE score, determines if you get into this tournament.
Okay.
Now, he was, let's say, 100 points behind. So what he did in...
So is that like within striking distance?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
So what he did, ELO points, that's what he was looking for. So seeking quick ELO points, he essentially, just played a whole bunch of tournaments in the last 2 weeks of the year because the cutoff was January 1st.
Okay.
All of these people had lower FIDE scores than he did, but still fairly high.
Okay.
So he essentially farmed his way in to beating another person out of that last position because there was only 2 positions left.
So he went for the volume over.
Oh yeah, he went for tons of volume, and it was a huge scandal. Everyone was talking about it.
Okay.
The FIDE changed their rules, so someone else.
Man, you always know you've killed it when you get a rule.
Yeah, a governing body.
You.
Yeah,
when,
exactly.
Like in you would know this, but I follow and sometimes at a hobby level participate in several different motorsports.
Yes.
But it's always like a bragging right to people when they get caught doing something. And it's like the sanctioning body is like, this is not illegal, but from now on it will be. We're putting it on the books.
So that's essentially what they did. So, and there was some there was controversy about even if all of these ranked tournaments, which they were, would count because there are specific things that ranked tournaments need to do to see if they qualify, and people didn't know if Alireza, all these tournaments that Alireza was participating in the last couple of weeks were even a regulation or not. It came out that they were.
Well, yeah.
And he got that last spot. In the tournament. So yeah,
there's no better
so based on live ratings, Wesley, who he was trying to beat, holds the FIDE score of 2757.4, and at the end in the moment Alireza's was 2751.9. So
and it was we take so many of these top people, that was the cutoff.
Wesley was the cutoff.
Okay.
The FIDE clarified that they have not decided, this was at the time, whether they would permit Alireza to accumulate the points from the ongoing tournaments that he is participating in. They did, and he did get that last spot.
Can you imagine? Just bear with me. Because, chess, very analytical game.
Totally.
Super structured, rewards, from my understanding of it, analytical.
Yes.
The type of people you probably wouldn't want to debate with.
Yes.
Being in the room where they have to debate this, where all kinds of presumably chess masters are sitting around. I presume
as well, yeah.
Debating whether this should go, whether... I mean, how could you not let the guy in?
Well, and it's funny because Wesley, here's the only statement made by Wesley the other competitor. I've been offered many times and still do to quote unquote arrange matches against players who could use a bit of cash and are more than happy to help you qualify for the candidates. The thing is, it's against everything we stand up for. And if you got any morals, I doubt you'll want to do it. So Wesley So was asked, like, hey,
he was saying, yeah, but that's different. If this guy went to tournaments, and was like, I'm just going to open tournaments.
Yeah.
It's not like he was paying people to play matches.
But the open tournaments were made specifically for him with lower ranking people.
Well, I see. Then it's getting a bit greasier.
Oh, it's very greasy.
I thought these were pre-existing tournaments, and he just went in.
They were they existed out of the necessity for Ali Reza to get his score up. Now, from my understanding, no one in the tournament was paid to lose. Like, he had to actually win all the matches he participated in. Mm-hmm. But still, like, these are also players that don't have as high ELO scores as him. Yeah. And they don't have as high ELO scores for a reason.
Wow.
Anyway, so completely different chess controversy than the last one.
I had no idea the world of competitive chess was so drama-filled.
Honestly, the more and more I get into it, it is just a bunch of... It's so much drama. Oh, and I'm starting to get, like, really, really into it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it has taken a little... After this one, it's taken a little bit of a slower season. So I don't have sports. I don't have chess updates for next week, unfortunately. Unless something happens in the next 7 days. Hey, Luke.
Yeah, man.
What do you want to play for the peoples?
I put the Amp Up Sloan tune in there, and I thought we were going to lead with it because as I was telling to Thomas before the show started, I feel like my music picks the last few weeks have been like mellow, so I thought maybe we'd come in strong tonight with like some classic Sloan.
Yeah.
Nova Scotian boys, and it's a fairly popular tune, but it's popular for a reason.
Yeah,
because it's a jam.
Losing California by Sloan. Here we go.
I never would have thought the nostalgia would have hit so young. But like, there's tunes that it's like, they say everyone just goes back to listening to what they listened to in high school.
Yep.
That might even been middle school.
That's why I listen to such weird music.
Yeah, that's it, I'm sure. But aside from weird music, what are you reading now?
You know what?
Yeah.
So like when we brought up this segment the first time, we got the suggestion from one of our friends who is a local teacher, a local middle school teacher. And we made the joke, like, we're just going to talk about The Hobbit every single week until someone notices.
Yeah.
And I am going to go back to doing that. So, like, when I don't have something to talk about,
we'll talk about The Hobbit.
100%, because there's so much in The Hobbit. Also, I just watched the movie, the first Peter Jackson Hobbit movie again. Yeah. And the whole time, my wife was like, Jess, stop pausing the movie and watch it. and you can explain to me all the things that are different in the book later. And I was like, but I can't. And it's so like,
you gotta let it go, man. They're two different works,
and they're both great.
Yeah.
And I saw the Peter Jackson movie first before I actually read the book.
Oh.
And it was years after the movies came out that I actually read the book for the first time. So I was like, okay, I remember all this stuff, but I didn't realize how out of order it was until I went back and watched the first one. And I was like, no. And it was like, there's a bunch of... Anyway, we'll bring that up when we're talking about the Hobbits. Because I have been reading a book I mentioned to you off air, Irving versus Irving.
Yep.
And it is written by...
Not an Irving.
No, by the provincial affairs reporter for the CBC, Jacques Poitras. Yeah, I can't say his last name, but Jacques Poitras.
Yes.
Who is a very acclaimed journalist.
Yeah.
And
he's been at it a minute.
He's been at it a minute. Worked for the Telegraph Journal for many years. Yeah. Worked in Ottawa for the Telegraph Journal, and was sued in like the mid 90s. And KC, sorry, I wasn't KC at the time, would have been Arthur Irving, instead of just like settling out of court, like funded the entire thing to like clear his and a few other people's names. So like he knows Irving, and he knows them well, and like reading it is very interesting because he's not lambasting the Irvings like a lot of his critics do, but it's award-winning journalist for a reason. Yeah. So I was reading Irving versus Irving, and it's very good. I would suggest anyone go read it. Yeah. But this thing came up that he mentioned a few times that I never heard of. And so I'm from St. John. I'm from St. John. Yeah. I've lived here coming on, almost a decade. And I have never heard of the Chignecto Canal. Yeah. Have you heard of the Chignecto Canal? I've never heard of it. Yeah. So, of course, Nova Scotia is in Isthmus. So, there's a little strip of land. Yep. Between
some marsh going on there.
Between the rest of Canada and Nova Scotia. And the Chignecto Canal, really in the 40s, late 30s, early 40s, was a potential project that would have seen transforming a portion. Actually, there are 11 different places where they could have made this canal, essentially connecting the Bay of Fundy and Northumberland Strait through essentially Sackville. Like there's one in Allac, right? One of the project routes, and this would be for essentially just shipping and trade.
Yeah, move freight through it. Bypass going all the way through around
Nova Scotia, either by train or by boat.
Yes, but there was also a rail line.
Yes.
Later on.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway.
But so in Irving versus Irving, it's stated multiple times that like even into the 50s and 60s, KC Irving was still, kind of pumping out these propaganda pieces essentially on the canal because it would have saved him so much money. Yeah. So like 20 years after...
Couldn't let it go.
And like I read the report of the Chignecto Canal Commission, at least large parts of it. And it is a dense read. Luke's seeing it right now. It is from the late 30s, early 40s.
If you are having trouble sleeping, this could fix it.
Oh my goodness, this could fix it. Yeah. It's like, and it, if you ever want to know like how much sand was in the 40s and like how much this would affect like the gypsum deposits. Yeah, this has got it all. And like the idea of the canal goes back all the way to the 1820s. And the entire report is just like this. Yeah, excavation peat, 20 cents per cubic yard. Like, it has everything in here. The entire report is about 40 pages of them saying this is the dumbest, least feasible thing possible. Like,
Wow.
it would cost way too much money.
Yeah.
And it would not be beneficial enough for trade. And I just find it so funny that, 20 years even after this report comes out, Casey Irving, with all of, the media power he did have, because it's
Quite a lot.
and it's well known. Yeah, okay, so there it is. 1939 is when this report came out. So even in 39,
Yeah.
it was known by Ottawa, and it was known to the people.
That this wasn't going to fly.
It wasn't going to fly. It was not feasible. And then for years and years and years afterwards, Casey still, because he owned all the print media in New
Still
Brunswick,
pumping it up.
which the Irvings don't anymore. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, I did know
As of
that,
2023, they
No
sold.
longer have a stranglehold.
They don't own a single
Yeah.
print media form here in New Brunswick anymore. But that is what I'm reading. Irving versus Irving. It is very, very interesting. I'm learning stuff about New Brunswick, and I've lived here my entire life, and I'm well read. And I know I know Irvings.
You're from St. John. You probably had to take a couple high school classes about it.
I did. No, but I did take high school classes with Irving. Like, last name Irving's a part of the Irving family.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I know Irvings,
There you
and there's so much in here I didn't know. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. Hey, what I want to listen to?
you play me something that's that I've never heard before.
There you go, bud. That's exactly what we're going to. We are
Okay.
going to listen to, like, a new wave band out of Fredericton, New Brunswick.
I like Fredericton.
Yeah, so this is Dress to Kill Records. They were a small indie publisher, started in the late 80s. This is the first album they actually published. The band is called Decade of Dreams,
Okay.
with the album being The Wild Colloquial. Now, Dress to Kill Records,
Which is a great name.
great name.
Like coming from someone who dresses to nap.
Yes,
Dress
exactly.
to kill is, yeah.
Honestly, sharp dressed men, right? Not the song we're playing, but this label
Yeah.
was the label that first released a Sloan record.
Oh,
Thinking about Sloan.
unintentional tie-ins.
Yes, and I believe that the owner of the label, whose name I don't have here, was Sloan's first manager, if I remember correctly as well. But I'm pulling that from the top of my head. So let's look at One Night in Bohemia. This is by the late 1980s, 1987 band from Fredericton, Decade of Dreams.
He's feeling strange and a little older, a little wiser but insecure. He's seen too many empty hours. He doesn't know what he needs, but he never needed more. She got a room with walls and windows. She got a mattress on the floor. She's Never here, never there, always somewhere in between. Whoa. Why can't you be like everyone else is? Come, we're always taking chances. Wanna love ya, wanna be sure. It's only passing time. It's only passing time. One night in Bohemia. It's only passing time. One night in Bohemia. Whoa.
So that's what Fredericton was sounded like in the late 80s.
Apparently, that's well, one of the sounds of Fredericton.
I'm sure Fredericton had a great many sounds.
I'm sure, you know what? And I am exploring them. We were just conversing while we were listening to that song that, like, I really like the idea of finding these really, you know, I brought out, like, Lee Cromo the other week, too, like, you know, 1970s fiddlers. Like, I love the idea of finding these older songs that were produced in the Maritimes and then bringing them back on air.
Well, you'll love a tune I have picked for either later tonight or sometime other this, next week.
Perfect. But for now, oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to local news.
Local news. Hit me. What do you got?
You want me to go first?
Well,
Hey.
I can go quick, but we're jumping to Newfoundland for my news.
Yeah, let's go to Newfoundland.
So, have you ever driven down a road and thought, this road would make a great racetrack?
I have not.
Okay, well, people who are enthusiasts, maybe automotive, maybe two-wheeled variety,
Yes.
even the three-wheeled,
Oh,
sometimes you get a piece of road and think, this road would be a great
it's a
racetrack.
decent road, yeah.
Yeah, like, there's some good driving roads around. If you have a sporty automobile or a
Sure.
motorcycle, like, nice scenery, good conditions, drives out to nowhere and back. Well, pre-COVID, there was an event in Newfoundland called the Targa Newfoundland. And people would travel from all over North America to compete in a race on public roads. They close the roads down when the racing is going on. Over 6 days.
Okay.
There's very few of these events left in the world.
I was gonna say, this
there's some
sounds
classic races like the Targa Floria, you may have possibly heard of, or Targa Tasmania, which goes on unsurprisingly in New Zealand. But there's just very few places in the world with that can accommodate this type of event.
Of course, yeah.
As you can imagine, like the insurance required to have
Yes.
$1 million race cars show up and just blast it through. If you Google this from a few years ago, like someone with their race car off into a bay in Newfoundland,
Woof.
because it's Newfoundland.
Yeah. Yes.
And roads
Surrounded by water.
Yeah, and a few years ago, someone may or may not have put their car into a house, and despite this, when you travel to these towns that have it through, they're still like so gung ho for the most part to host this event because it brings people from all over the world.
I'm sure it's great for the economy.
Yeah, it's huge, and
they get to see cool cars.
Yeah, and I mean, there's different classes too. A lot of these cars are cars that you could walk by, other than having a number on the door.
Yes,
to identify them. They're pretty regular cars, but there's also world class race cars that show up, and people in full semi truck trailers that bring a race team to our little corner of the world to compete in this event. That is, as far as I know, is the only place you can do this in North America.
Yeah.
There's some smaller scale events like on shorter sections of road that you can go and do, a 10-minute run on open road.
Yeah.
But nothing that is
6 days.
6 days worth of racing. And, this is an event I followed for years. It was, I would say it's been ongoing for maybe 15 years before, the COVID came along and shut things down. And there was just... The consensus was, after it was shut down and shuttered, that we'll never be able to get it back off the ground. It's such a burdensome thing to do that, So it popped up in my feed the other day. A well-known racer from California was like, listen, guys, this might be the only run we get at this.
We need to bring it back.
It's back. They've announced it.
Yeah.
It's on. And I mean, you can't get further from California to Newfoundland.
No.
And this is a guy with huge presence. Randy Post, name drop.
Yeah.
By all accounts, I've met people who've met him. Super down to earth guy.
Awesome.
Extremely fast, and saying that this is the premier motorsports event in North America.
That's dope.
And it's in Newfoundland.
It's
It's coming back in September.
That's awesome.
So if I happen to win the million before now and then, I'm taking the week off in September.
Totally. And you know what? You might have to do a sports update here come September. Tell us more about it.
Yep. But now you know of the sport.
It's true, but I'm very interested in actually who wins, and you know me, I'm going to go home and it's like it's like when you told me about the cannonball runs and stuff. Like I've read about it for like 2 months straight, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll talk about cannonball runs another time because that's just like really interesting. But mine, do you know where Greenwich is? Lower Greenwich.
Is it pronounced Greenwich?
It is actually pronounced Greenwich. Yeah, Lower Greenwich.
In that case, no. Is it nearby? It's New Brunswick.
It is New Brunswick. It is making me sign into Facebook. So give me 1 second, folks, as I do it on my phone. It is near my stomping grounds.
Oh.
So it is on the St. John River.
Okay.
Just outside Grand Bay Westfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And if you don't know, Grand Bay Westfield is just outside St. John. So this is nice and close to...
and exciting things are happening there, presumably.
Oh, yes. The most exciting things.
Your face just lit up.
I promised you the other day that I would get you some Bigfoot news. And I joked about getting you the Bigfoot news.
I didn't know there were any local Bigfoots.
Oh, buddy.
Big feet?
No, it's Bigfoots. You were right the first time.
Okay. Don't want to insult them.
Well, look, we're not going to get into the etymology of Bigfoots and big feet, but it is Bigfoots.
Okay.
So I was joking because I did a UFO update.
Yeah.
I was joking that I'm going to bring you, because there was a Bigfoot sighting here, up at here being Sackville, New Brunswick, up Beach Hill Park.
And Bigfoot was walking around Beach Hill Park.
Bigfoot was not at Beach Hill Park. It was just about a Beach Hill Park. It was coming up. That's Walker Road, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it was 100 yards before Beach Hill on Walker Road, walking obviously into the park, because the other side is the big AIM factory. Now, then it wouldn't have been, the factory wasn't operational yet, but I think they would have still been building it. But we have an even more recent Bigfoot sighting in New Brunswick, in Lower Greenwich, and I'm going to read you the sighting
report.
Oh yeah. So,
is this from an accredited news agency?
No,
can
this
you
is.
Cite your sources, please.
I 100% can cite my sources. No, this is from the New Brunswick Bigfoot organization. So yes, an accredited organization.
Full disclosure, are you a member of the board of this organization?
I'm not a member of the board, no.
Just card-carrying member.
Yes. Do I currently have... Did I put a sticker on the back of my wife's card saying believer with a picture of Bigfoot? Yes.
Okay.
Oh, my. It will not. Even my Facebook won't let me in right now.
I'm gonna fill in some blanks here.
Yeah, totally.
And assume that someone in Lower Greenwich saw Bigfoot or an approximation of Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to tell you without being able to read you the whole story. Essentially, Buddy was driving with his wife in the front seat, his kid in the back, and his wife was like, "Whoa, did you see that?" And he was like, "No," dropped the kid off, and on the way back, she was like, "Yeah, right over there. It was right over there." And he was like, "What was right over there?" She was like, "Something really big moving through the trees." And he was like, "That was a bear." And she was like, "Nah, definitely not a bear. I think it was a Bigfoot." And she's a skeptic, but now a believer, and he's always been a believer. And then people asked if they went back and could find footprints, and they couldn't.
I'm shocked. but they couldn't go back and find footprints.
And you said, the Bigfoot. You know what? There's a lot of theories on Bigfoots.
See, it's tricky.
Including that they are space-time travelers, as in they are fourth-dimensional beings that come in and out of space-time. Why are you laughing? I'm serious.
Listen, man, there's a great many things in life we don't understand, and
Bigfoots could be fourth-dimensional beings that come in and out of time, which is why it's so hard to pin them down and why they are found in multiple cultures all over North America. You ever think of that?
Sure.
Hey, let's play some music.
Okay.
What do you want to play?
I don't know. You want to get our French content in for the week?
Yeah, let's get some French content in.
You want like folky or you want bluegrass?
Man, I looked at that bluegrass one right at the beginning, and I want to hear it.
So you don't spend much time in Quebec, and I don't spend much time in Quebec, but I think we can all appreciate that Quebec is one of the cultural hubs of the country.
Oh, 100%, yes.
And because of the language differential, I mean, there's things that get to be huge in Quebec and we just don't hear of.
Yes.
And the Quebec Redneck Bluejack Project is one of these things.
Yes.
They are a group that they've been going at it for years.
Mm-hmm.
They do the festival circuit in Quebec most summers. I didn't really know about them until a few months ago.
Yeah.
And you go online, it's they don't really do interviews. They don't really do anything except show up and just slay.
Kill
and it's one of these groups that you talk to people from Quebec and they're like, we don't listen to Quebec music. Oh, except because
the Quebec Redneck Bluegrass Project. Awesome.
That's it. So we're gonna play Canon del Front. A little bit of almost Chuck there coming out too, from J'ai Bu, which is quite the album title. So hit it, and we'll get some Franco bluegrass adjacent content.
Love it.
J'aurais du fun à backpacker malgré la fois que je me suis fait braquer. Absolument rien à voir avec la naïveté. C'est sûr que quand tu pèses pas 150 livres mouillés, tu fais clairement pas le poids devant quelqu'un d'armé. J'aurais automatiquement voulu dire non. Mais quand j'ai vu son automatique, j'ai automatiquement entendu raison. C'est là que tu dis there's a bone in the ballon. C'est du sketchy qui sort coudon, joue-tu au foie jaune? Oh ben non, j'y sors un 14. Oh ben non, j'y sors un 14. Un jour que je mangeais des têtes de poule en brochette avec ceux que je croyais mes chums, j'ai été traîné d'un 5 à 7 supposé pour avoir du fun et une motovage de force dans mes poches, on me demandait tout mon cash. Classique comme crosser sur qu'appuyer sur la crosse, un gros calibre, le crosseur est bien plus crédible. Dans la bouche de ces canons, les arguments sont plus béton. J'ai pas pu faire grand chose, j'ai filé tous mes pesos. Il m'a dit on sait où tu restes, j'ai pogné le premier train pour Manila sans laisser d'adresse. Sérieux, faudra peut-être voir la réalité en face. On se pas d'être trop futé, d'être trop perspicace. Qu'on s'en va qu'on file de sel, qu'on file d'où sous la menace. C'est un fusil chargé à bloc du normalo, des dans ta face avec un gun, ça tombe avec un canon dans le front, me semble. C'est dur de dire non. Sérieux, c'est de la triche, ton masque est plus persuasif. Et tu argument plus massue, qu'en fais-moi tomber où je te tue. En fais-moi tomber où je te tue. N'aurait dû fun à Wabang sur Witten, si belle gang à jouer des jeux de boissons. Écoute la garnison, avec le chef de la milice, son beau béret sur la table, pas de place pour les caprices à bois, même si t'es plus capable, j'aurais automatiquement voulu dire non. Mais quand j'ai vu son automatique, j'ai automatiquement entendu raison. Ça pouvait pas être plus illégal quand t'es d'un pays par la jungle, on te demande si t'as peur des balles, a fait en top fort ta gueule. A fait en top fort ta gueule. Ta gueule! J'ai pas pu faire grand chose, j'ai filé tous mes pesos. Ça il m'a dit on sait où tu restes, j'ai pogné le premier train pour Manila sans laisser l'adresse. sérieux, faudra peut-être voir la réalité en face. On se doit pas d'être trop futé, d'être trop perspicace pour savoir qu'on file docile, qu'on file doux sous la menace d'un fusil chargé à bloc normal loadé dans ta face avec un gun, puis ça tape avec un canon dans le front, me semble. C'est dur de dire non. Sérieux, c'est de la triche, qu'on masque plus persuasif. Y'a-tu argument plus massue qu'un film tomber où je te tue? Un film tomber où je te tue? J'aurais dû prendre à Bangkok malgré la fois me suis fait crosser par les gobes de moi ton portefeuille, ton visa. Ferme ta gueule, bon vieux truc de check là-bas, y arrive une mobilette pendant qu'elle esti de route, t'as piqué le blé dans ton wallet. Sur qu'appuyer sur la crosse d'un gros calibre, le crosseur est bien plus crédible. Par la bouche de ses canons, les arguments sont plus bétons. Même quand le fusil dans ton étui, c'est dur de dire, donne-moi mon cash, mon esti, gobe ta pelule, faut que la police oublie ton cash puis tes calices. Oublie ton cash puis tes calices.
I love the little like bloop sound I made.
There's
at the
so
beginning.
many sounds, and like my French is okay. My French comprehension is very good. My spoken French is pretty rough because I don't use it very much.
Yes.
And it was never fantastical to begin with, but I was listening to another one of their tunes last night when I was trying to pick which one to put on the list, and it's like every verse there's so much innuendo and colloquialisms and the accent too, but just and the speed, the machine gun fire speed it's delivered. It's like I have to listen to this like 3-4 times to get the get the idea even.
And you asked me in the middle, I was like, how's your musicianship? Because I don't want to play my hand too much, but I
have some music experience.
I have played, if you've heard me talk, you've probably realized I have played an instrument once or twice in my life. And like, they're really good. They're not doing anything like crazy. There's not a single thing that I heard in that song that I couldn't do myself. But they're so like together, like
it's
in
like
the
a club
pocket.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Anyone can make a club sandwich. But like a Michelin star chef will make you a really good club sandwich.
And this is a really good club sandwich. I can make a club sandwich.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good as Gordon Ramsay's club sandwich.
Yeah.
And do you know who else makes a good club sandwich?
Who's that?
We already mentioned him today. Jacques Poitras. Poitras. He's my gold star for this week.
Is he?
He is, yeah.
Did he once make you a club sandwich?
He did not.
Oh.
But I was trying to do the worst segue ever, and I think I nailed it.
I like it a lot.
Jacques is going to be my gold star for this week. Again, I started reading Irving versus Irving.
Yeah.
But he also had, and it was very controversial, CBC article this week. And I'm not going to get into it because a lot of people have, and like all over the country, like it's kind of hit a nerve for a lot of people, one reason or another. And it's the article about Mohammed Bakrash, a Syrian Canadian who came over in 2016, who, made headlines for the, I forget what the Million Child March or whatever it was, all about like policy 713 here in New Brunswick. Okay. And, Jacques did such a great job with this article, does such a great job with Irving versus Irving. Like he really is, journalism is a dying art. Especially, with Twitter and formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, and like the attention span of everyone being so short. He does an incredible job to just portray things as they are and not politicize and not really the word I'm like looking for is like make everything clickbait. It's a very interesting article. Coming from, people on all sides are upset with this article for wildly different reasons.
Sometimes that's what journalism looks like.
Yeah. And at the end of it, really, the biggest crux of the article is mostly saying that the Syrians that came to Canada in 2016 are now really fully integrated into New Brunswick culture because they are very often, we see a lot of Syrian representation in a lot of protests happening, be it Israel and Palestine, be it this like Million Children's March. And it is impossible to paint people with a single brush because in some instances, the Syrian community in general, of course, there are going to be Syrians on all sides of every issue, but the Syrian community in general, like, are going to be on one side of the political spectrum for Policy 713. So, brushing shoulders with a particular group of people, and then at the next, Israel versus Palestine or like Free Palestine march, they're marching right beside the people that were yelling at them at the Million Child March one.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's very well done. And the takeaway for me was that, the more, and immigration is a huge hot button topic right now, and I'm not touching it with a 1,000-foot pole. Like, I'm not. But, I'm thankful for Jacques and thankful for reporters who are still doing this type of very difficult work and obviously very thankless. Like, everyone's so mad at him on every side right now.
You'd have to have some pretty
article.
thick skin.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, like, it's not like he's gone through this job easy. Like, he's been sued before, and he's still doing it. Like 20 years later, 30 years after his career starts, he's just still making super thought-provoking articles, and I'm really glad New Brunswick has him.
There you go.
So he is
good gold star.
Yeah, he's my gold star.
All right.
What about you?
I'm giving it to thankless people this week too.
Yeah.
Or people that receive little thanks. I'm not sure that. Anyway, I was driving home this afternoon. The one time I left my house today because I had about the laziest day I've had in, I don't know, a few months.
Yeah.
And I'd heard the sirens and the everything going out before I left my house. And then I was coming back, and the fire truck went by, and I got a wave from someone I know in the fire truck. Yeah. And it really, like, made me think, because I know a few people in the fire department.
Yeah.
And it's pretty, being a volunteer fire department, the fire department, being a volunteer firefighter is a pretty thankless thing anyway. But, like, I don't know, it struck me because I had like the laziest day ever. And you see these I saw 2 trucks full of guys and gals and, going out. And it's like, man, they drug themselves out to whatever it had to go to, good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a lot of good in that role. And, probably on their day off, give me a wave on the way back. And you're like, man, that's good on them.
Good on them. Thank you. Is it the Tantramar firefighters now, or is it?
Well, I think it was still Sackville.
Is it still Sackville?
That's what the trucks say. But
Thanks,
we could check
firefighters. It out. We got one more tune real quick, and then we'll do a little wrap up at the end. So this is Coyote by Tooth and Fang. Tooth and Fang, I believe, are a part of Little You, Little Me that we listened to the other week. Yeah. But this is, while that's more rock focused, this is more folk focused. So here's Coyote.
All right.
Stop what I'm doing and find myself a writing utensil and take the time to sort through my thoughts. Am I happy with who I am? My job, my band. But when the coyote calls, I do not answer.
Ooh, we forgot.
But when
Okay. Hello, my friends. So, real quick, hey, let's do some shout-outs. We got Cosmic Mix Tuesdays at 9 p.m. By David Koish. Tunes that are out of this world. Cosmic Mix is full of tunes pulled straight from Star-Lord's Walkman.
It was great demo. If you're up late at night, tune into Killer Haze. How late at night? It's after I go to bed, so I don't know. Features some of the newest Canadian punk out there. If you like punk or used to like punk like I do, stay up late and listen to some.
Yeah, we got Cool Pop Wednesdays at 6 p.m. playing the latest of new electro pop tracks. Cool Pop brings you the best new pop music from around the world every week. And hey, you can listen to Black Atlantic here right after us. So stay tuned right here for that. Hey, thanks for listening. Thank you, CHMA, for hosting and broadcasting. Check them out at chma.com.
Or on the internet.
Yeah, CHMA on all the socials. Check us out at Midgic Airport. Visit our merch store and give us a shout out on all the socials at Midgic Airport. Hey, check out our new gaming channel on YouTube at Midgic Airport, where we are uploading daily starting tomorrow. You can catch myself and internet technology specialist Sean and Jay playing Pokemon Red. If you miss an episode of this show right here, you can catch us anywhere you get your podcasts. Hey, we're signing off.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.
Leave the ghosts that are holding you back, bury them in the paper bag, put them down in a no more grave. You'll be damned when your mother finds out you're not the girl that she wants to. Now you're gonna find your own
Roulette of whatever inspires me. Check out the playlist and archive after the show at chmafm.com.
All right, we're live on KEXP at home. My name is Larry Mizell, Jr., host of the afternoon show, and I'm honored to be joined today by Femi and Made Kuti. How you doing today, gentlemen?